Thanks, Chairman, and thanks to both of the witnesses for being here. There are two questions I'd like to ask, and because of time constraints and to give you guys a chance to be able to make a more thoughtful and fulsome response, I will offer them as questions for the record so that you can get something back to me in writing rather than deal with it now. The first question has to do with the scale of the atrocities in Russia. The severity of the cruelty is extreme, but so is the scale of the conduct. And that creates its own demands on the ICC in terms of having to deal with enormous amounts of information, run down thousands of allegations, manage huge arrays of evidence. And it is also a problem, I expect, for Ukraine as it goes about bringing its own claims against Russia for the harm and atrocities committed on its soil by Russian troops. So the question is, what are we doing to support the ICC and the Ukrainians in having the back office resources, the data processing, the evidence collection resources to be able to accomplish these purposes successfully? If a huge civil case, a class action were brought in the United States, the firm bringing the class action on behalf of potentially thousands of plaintiffs would have resources, and there are firms that provide those resources to organize all the preparation and make sure that communications with the plaintiffs and evidence, et cetera, were all gathered. Do you understand that question? And you understand what I'm trying to get at? And you'll get me an answer.
Certainly, Senator. Thank you for
Okay, I've got 2 minutes left, so let me jump to the second question.
Okay.
Mr. Watson, you're clear on what I'm asking for?
Yes, Senator.
How are we helping with the back office support necessary to do what is essentially the biggest class action ever? The second has to do with demoralizing the Ukrainian officer corps, which I think is of strategic value. We hear plentiful accounts of ordinary soldiers being disheartened, miserable, and demoralized. And I think that has an effect on the battlefield in Ukraine. To the extent that we can also demoralize the junior officer corps, I think that will have also an effect on the battlefield. And it seems to me that one way to demoralize the junior officer corps is to start calling out individuals by name who are associated with these acts of atrocity and brutality. And to the extent that you can help us assemble that information and help us make it public, if you agree with that strategy, there is bipartisan interest in trying to bring that forward so that if you are a lieutenant, a major, a colonel in Ukraine right now, and you are asked to engage in brutal and likely criminal activity, you have right in the front of your mind that your future may very well involve an orange jumpsuit someplace rather than a heroic welcome back in the mother country. So that would be the second question, and I want to make sure you understand that. If you have any questions about the question, you've got a minute, and if you don't, then just get back to me in writing as to whether that's a purpose you'd like to help us pursue.
If I may, just since we have a little bit of time, address the first question. Yes, the task that Ukrainian prosecutors, our colleagues there, confront is a daunting one indeed.
Yeah, it's massive. I'm
Well
aware
over-
of nothing like it in the law.
Well, but we have been at DOJ consulting with them on different platforms for building a case management system. We have a lot of experience at Justice in massive cases involving terabytes of information, and the Criminal Division's International Criminal Investigative Training Assistance Program, ISATAP, has actually helped the National Police of Ukraine build an electronic evidence management system, and they did that not realizing, of course.
Our time is up, but I would love it if you would send somebody who knows about that over to give us a little briefing on a bipartisan basis. I know Senator Graham and I and Senator Blumenthal would appreciate it because we've been talking a lot about this. And if you could make that person available, that would be helpful, even a Zoom call. Thank you.